It's fine. Hey, what's up? I am Zach. I am joined by my buddy Devin.
What up?
If you're new to the channel, we usually do game-related stuff, but today we are doing a nostalgia-related stuff. Here in Cincinnati, Ohio, I'm here at Tricounty Mall. This was a childhood mall for both of us, I think, that we used to go to. Past couple of years, as you can see while we're even doing the video, it's not as popular anymore. They are shutting it down tomorrow, so I thought we would come here, take some footage of the mall, and kind of encapsulate some memories that we have before it gets the old shaft.
It's the second big mall in this area that's closed down. The other one actually was open, but with only a handful, like one or two. There was the arcade, which we featured on the channel before for a podcast. Arcade Legacy was in Cincy Mills. It also was called Forced Fair at one point. That one's kind of a more famous. That's a totally abandoned, and there was like those two stores in it. This has a couple more mom and pop, smaller stuff like we were talking when we came in, but yeah, we're just gonna kind of walk around. Where we're at right now is actually a place that we were, I don't know if you ever came as a kid, but this is where they had Santa Claus set up. Now they have like a playground thing, and I haven't even seen this. It's Santa, and then there was a
Easter Bunny.
Easter Bunny. Well, and I think there was a fountain here too that they filled.
Oh, the whole fountain's gone. I didn't even realize.
The whole fountain was here, and
That's
like
crazy.
people throw their coins in.
Oh my gosh, yeah, right where
and
we're
then they
standing
filled
was
it.
the fountain.
Yeah, because it was like...
And had all. I'd come over and flip a penny in it and make a wish.
I forget which side it was. Might have been that side. It was all the fountains.
Yeah.
And then the center, like you could step down into it and then like sit behind the fountain.
Yeah.
And that's where they did the Santa and Easter Bunny and stuff like that.
So, you know, we had to come pay our respects to Santa and sit on his lap, as you know. But yeah, that fountain and stuff, like as a kid and flipping the penny and stuff. Now, I think we should talk about the warring between Forest Fair, Cincy Mills. We'll call it Cincy Mills.
That's how I always knew it
Cincy
too.
Mills versus this, because I came to both. And I liked different things about whatever, but Cincy Mills was kind of this isn't a Cincy Mills video, but that was kind of a wonderland. Because that had, I don't know if you were there when they had the like carnival basically rides. They had a freaking Ferris wheel inside and all this stuff. But then you come here and we had like...
But this was like more serious shop, like the higher end.
Yes, you had, you're exactly right.
The FYE was here we were talking about.
Yes, and they had, and we'll probably get around to it, they had a probably not there anymore, a Suncoast video here.
I don't even remember,
you don't remember that. KB Toys was here.
I do remember the KB.
Yeah, the KB was a big deal.
The GameStop. There was a used game store that was actually pretty cool.
Yes, it was called GameSwap. And that was up here in the corner. Maybe we should go check that out here in a second.
See if they're still up there.
Yeah, so this area was made for flipping pennies and stuff. But let's move around and we'll kind of like talk memories. I guess we'll just kind of like stop when we see stuff too. In just a second. Okay, we're stopping again. We're back at it at Tricounty Mall. Didn't leave yet. But back here, and we're going to go to it here in a little bit, but there was a Disney store and a GameSwap upstairs. But I wanted to kind of talk about the first memories you came here. Ooh. So I remember, like I actually can kind of date it, the year, I can't get to the date, but I just remember going to Cincy Mills and having vivid memories of when Tomb Raider 2 came out. So this was 97.
Wow. Okay.
So it had to be 96, 97 I started coming here because in this area there's been bigger stuff in this area of Cincinnati surrounding that have popped up, and that's kind of where everybody's eating their lunch at right now is there. But I remember like 97 or whatever coming here and going to the Cincy Mills a lot. So it had to be 96, 97. So I was like 5 or 6 years old-ish. Because I remember my Tomb Raider 2 came out, and my dad, we got it, and we were like so pumped to come home and play it and stuff, and he like made this whole song about it, and that's like burnt into my head, and I still sing it to this day when I talk about Tomb Raider. And all it was we were coming through the mall. I think it was actually Cincy Mills, but through here and stuff, we'd go to the GameStop, or no, it was EB Games back then. But you go Tomb Raider, Tomb Raider, Tomb Raider 2. So that's stuck in my head. But that was like, that's like the earliest stuff, but we'd come here for blue chip cookies.
Oh.
There was a blue chip cookies where we came in over here. And that closed down, and then they moved to a closer one in Cincinnati called Kenwood. That's where the Apple store, like I said, all of it's consolidating to these other malls. But like I said, 96 or whatever, and we'd bounce back and forth between those. But
yeah,
this was a huge place.
This was, especially like at Christmas time, like you'd see it just absolutely like corner, like shoulder to shoulder.
Yes.
Walking down.
It was extremely booked. And then you said you had a story about right back here at Rogers.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a shot of it.
Yeah, we'll get a shot of it.
Rogers Jewelers. When I got married, so I proposed to my wife in 2014. I used her grandmother's ring. She passed a few years before then, but I got it resized here at this Rogers because there was a couple jewelry stores here. There was one like mom and pop place, and they were like, "I'd do it for $20," and it was like, it was so cheap that it like, I don't know, it made me nervous.
Yeah, you're like. Yeah.
So I went to this place. They like
your neck was gonna turn green.
Yeah, they appraised it, resized it. Like my dad helped me like pick it out and pick out the store and like pick it up and stuff, and so that was a really cool memory for me.
Talking about the rings, I actually came here with an ex-girlfriend looking at rings.
Oh.
Now that one didn't come through, just like the mall didn't come through, so it's kind of symbolic. But I remember that being one of the first times being spooked by people just trying to take advantage of you and like, hey, you should open up a card and do financing and stuff. Because I didn't know too much. I just knew my parents were like, hey, be careful because interest rate stuff. But I didn't really know a lot. And it was me and her, and we were like, hey, let's this ring or whatever. And I was like, I don't know if I could like afford it now.
Well, you would have been late teens,
I was
right?
16.
Yeah.
No, I was 17. I was 17 or whatever. But at the time, not a good idea. Not a good idea. I dodged a bullet. When we were looking, the workers were like, you should open up a card. Yeah, like if you open up the card and you have the financing stuff. And I just remember going like, does that affect my credit score? Does that whatever? Now that I'm older, it wasn't that big of a deal, but they were kind of like skirting around stuff.
Yeah.
And I just remember getting spooked and I was like, we're done. And they were like hounding us trying to get it.
Yeah, I'm sure
they
were.
They also, and maybe rightfully so, but you should, I mean, whatever. I do remember them, they were right. When we were like, yeah, we're looking around for wedding rings, we're looking around for whatever. And I had to look even, of course, younger. People say I look young, but I'm 17, and they like looked at me like, huh, okay. Like they laughed at our face trying to get an engagement ring from here. But
that's really funny.
So they did laugh at me here. Maybe that's why they're closing. They laughed at too many people.
Yep.
But
drove them
they
away.
were right.
That's funny. My earliest memories, so I didn't move to this area until 2004.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, I would have been like 9, 10, something like that.
Yeah.
So some of my earliest memories, like I think the EB, I don't remember if it was still EB or not, like it had already changed over to a GameStop or it had already moved to a different location. But I just remember coming, there's a Sears we'll get to later.
Yes.
But that's where my dad shopped for like literally everything.
Yes.
And so, and maybe, when we get closer to that area, we can talk about it more. But those are some of my earliest memories, are going to that Sears, and it's right by a food court, so we would get lunch over here all the time.
Definitely, yeah. I also used to come here with a friend. So then, I don't think I had my license yet, but my friend did. He's like 5 or 6 years older than me, so he had his license, and we would come here in his Beretta. He had an old Beretta with spinners on it. So this is it was a beat to hell car, and he had plastic spinners on it. And we would pull into this parking lot, bumping rap. We'd be bumping Little John.
So why do they remember Little John?
So we would get in here, and that was like, that's the thing. I want to talk more general about the malls. Like we just said, Cincy Mills, and then this.
Tri-County.
A friend was talking to me, like I was telling him about this, like what we're doing this video, and he was like, what's going on with malls? Is it online shopping? I do think it's probably, that is a big part of it. But when we go to the nearby malls that have kind of consolidated these nicer, newer malls, there's still a ton of teens hanging out there. And even like when I pulled up in the Beretta with my friend, we might be buying nothing that day, but we would it was a social thing. Like it was a way to get away from your parents and not get in trouble, and you can come here, get some food, and just chill.
It's interesting that you say that though too, because I remember when they started having a policy, because the signs are still on the doors.
I'm glad you brought that up.
The signs are still here where it says like if you're under 17 or 18, whatever, like you have to be accompanied by a parent.
Yes.
Between like these certain hours of the day.
What happened was that wasn't always the case until around the time we showed up in the Beretta. Well, it was right around, we were actually still coming, and then they announced that when we were already still coming here on the weekends and hanging out. But what had happened was the Cincy Mills, most of the stores had closed off. So
it was already way on the decline.
They were on the decline. So what happened was all those people that were at Cincy Mills left and came to here.
Yep.
Which means a lot of the kids came here to hang out.
Yep.
So it was an influx of people, and immediately it was like it was an issue for them because it was tons of fights and stuff. You got to see like all the news, like fights. So then they announced, hey, we were putting, like, they smacked that down quick. That was within a week. They had like a fight, like the fight WWF tournament basically in here. They did that, and then they announced that policy. I'm glad you brought that up. I was wanting to talk about that because they brought that up, and I was like, oh, we're going to go in through a weird entrance we never go into from Macy's or whatever, or Sears. I don't know what it was. We'll come in through the back way. But my friend was 21 at the time, and I was underage or something. Like, he was close, because it was like you had to be accompanied by someone 21.
Yeah.
It wasn't like even 18.
Yeah. Well, I think it was like parent or guardian or whatever.
So
it was like the rule for it.
It was just me and him, and we come in through the door, and there is a security guy right there. And I'm like, dude, they're not playing around, because this is a weird entrance to the mall.
Yep.
And sure enough, like, he had to get my friend's like ID and stuff, and I think they let us through. I'm trying to remember, like, if he was like just under the limit or something, but I think we did get through. But there was like, down the line, we saw security people at every single entrance. I was like, that's crazy they paid for that, but it was that big of an issue that they did that.
It was a big issue, yeah.
It's funny because I think Kenwood is actually, they had issues a year or two ago with that same thing.
Okay.
Same articles, people like getting in a fight and stuff. So it's cool for teens, but also maybe too cool for teens. They might get too loosey-goosey.
Well, in Cincinnati Mills too now, if you ever, because we always go for the arcade.
Yes.
But we would go like, like in the winter when it's like getting dark early and stuff. If you like, oh, I took a wrong turn, like I just have to go around the mall, I'd see like a bunch of really fancy cars in the back, and it's like there's some shady stuff going on back here. I'm driving the furthest,
I didn't see
the biggest circle around
at Cincy Mills.
At Cincy Mills, and so I would assume like there'd be similar stuff here. Maybe, I don't know. Like it might. I haven't.
I think there was at Cincy Mills has been open so long for like that arcade, and then there was Bass Pro Shop, which is gone now, and Kohl's over there.
Has Bass Pro gone too?
I think they left at this point. I could be wrong, but. That was an interesting time because we like started showing up there more for the arcade.
Yep.
And you could see that people were living in that mall at one point. You still have time till August if you watch this video, there is like little, like people had made drawings and stuff inside the thing, like scratched it on the window because there's like tempered glass, and there was stuff from inside, and I think I saw like bedding and stuff. People had stayed overnight in there in Cincy Mills.
Oh, shoot.
I think that's why they probably had security on the Segway going through and stuff after that. But there was a point in time where I was like, dude, people are living. I think people are trying to stay overnight here, which maybe you might find that on YouTube. But
yeah, maybe.
But we'll keep walking. We'll see what we remember.
Oh, and this place turned into a COVID testing center.
Oh, which one? Where?
This right here.
This white one, or?
Yeah, this with the sign right here.
Oh, yeah.
Or vaccine clinic.
Yeah. Sign of the times. Didn't have that when I was a kid. Nope. Yeah, vaccination area. You can see.
Yep.
Are they still on there?
When I came,
no, COVID's over, isn't it? Yeah, that used to be. This was a clothing store. I don't remember the exact name of this, but this was a big clothing retailer right here. Right here, over here. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, go ahead.
We're just going place to place now. This right here, this store was a Spencer's.
Yes,
which, as a teenager, you could giggle and laugh and go into Spencer's.
Yep.
And I think the Hot Topic was upstairs. We'll go to that. And they might have moved because I think they were right next to Spencer's. Spencer's and Hot Topic
they were together at one point.
Yeah, they had a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship going on. But they right here was one of these two was Spencer's.
Yep.
That one might be Spencer's. And funny story there. So I walked in when we were just teenagers goofing off, and we walked back to the back part where they had the naughty stuff. And I was holding one of the naughty things. I don't know if YouTube allows it anymore, but I was holding one in my hand, and I turned around, or my buddy was, I think. We turned around, and there was a police officer right there. But he just was like, look, I don't know if he was following us, but he didn't seem like, he just was there. He didn't seem concerned with us, but we were dying laughing at that, like immediately arrested.
Oh,
so
that's funny.
Don't do that, you're gonna get immediately arrested.
So, I wanna say this place was like a glasses place?
Yes, that's where I got my first glasses.
Oh, really?
Yes,
I didn't know that.
Oh, here's the old, like there was I think there was giant trees, or there was a lot more stuff.
Yeah, it was a giant, like it went like, you could like almost touch a leaf from like the second floor.
I was, Nobody actually would care if I did this, but I dreamed as a kid, because I'm still into skateboarding, always wanting to grind this ledge.
We should have brought our boards.
I have my boards in the trunk. Maybe that's how we should end the video. No one's gonna give a frick. Like, there's nobody here that's gonna stop you.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe that's how we'll end the video. We'll do a board slide on this.
That would be incredible.
Well, we actually can't get out that way, so maybe we'll be stuck in the mall forever and mall gel. Yeah, I can't think. I think that was
Sears.
That was Sears. Okay, maybe we should talk some Sears stuff.
Yeah.
We'll set out now in the video and we'll talk some Sears.
I'd love to talk Sears.
We'll get serious about it. Right here was Sears. And Sears had everything. And then this, I think, before malls started going out in the recession or whatever, I think Sears was the first to go.
They were the first huge.
And it's funny because
store.
they had everything. They were kind of like the Walmart of the day, because you could come in. They didn't have food and stuff yet, but like they had electronics and clothing, and
they're like a Macy's now.
Yes.
Like what Macy's is now. Like they had appliances like washers and dryers and stuff like that.
Yeah, they had everything. So I had a ton of memories coming here looking at the games, the video games and stuff. And then my mom would go look at the clothes, and then I'd be with Dad or whatever. But you had some more. I think you did a little bit more in Sears and stuff. But.
I did a ton in Sears for a couple of reasons. One, because they did have everything. But two, my dad that was one of his first full-time jobs, was working at Sears. He took a gap year in school and worked at a Sears, one that used to be in our hometown. But that's been closed like way long time.
Yeah.
But so like he, even to the point to like when they closed or when they were getting ready to close, because he was an employee for so long, they had like some program where he had like stock in Sears.
Oh yeah.
So he got like a final check in the mail, and it was like 30 cents or something like that. Like it was, the postage probably costed more than the actual check did. But yeah, my very first MP3 player, before iPods, before the Zune, I had a little digital MP3 player. It had a little screen on it that just did text only. Yeah. And it had like a little knob that I could push up and down or click, and that was like the whole interface. Yeah. It looked like a little, I don't even know, but like it was just like a little circle thing. Yeah. It was my first MP3 player. So this story I was telling my wife when we were on our way over here. I would have been like 10, 11, something like that, when Guitar Hero was really big, or starting to get really big. Yeah. We were doing Christmas shopping, and so we were looking at electronics and stuff, or like, me and Dad always like to look at electronics, and so they were like, hey, we're gonna like keep shopping for stuff. Are you okay to like just hang out down here? Because that's when stores still had like demos. Stores still do.
Yeah, the kiosk and stuff. Yeah.
But like back then, it was like there was no online demo that you could download for stuff.
Yeah, you had to go there and wait your line behind Jimmy.
Yeah, but
as he was playing.
It must have been like the right night. Like I was the only kid around. And so I sat and played this Guitar Hero demo for probably like an hour and a half, like playing the same.
That was your daycare.
3 or 4 songs. Well, and so my parents, I don't think they left the store, but like they went like, to the clothes section, went around and all this stuff. And I was so engrossed in this Guitar Hero demo. I had no idea. They bought me a Guitar Hero set for the Wii.
So they were walking around you as you were doing this.
And they bought it, and like, I was so surprised on Christmas Day, because I thought Guitar Hero would be like too expensive or whatever, because it had the actual guitar and stuff. Yeah. And I was so engrossed in playing it that I had no idea they bought it for me. Yeah. And like, they had the big bag. They just made sure to not make like a big deal about it, so I didn't like try to look in it or anything. Yeah. And they had totally gone around and gotten that for me here.
That's so fun.
At this Sears.
It was also interesting because this was the entrance we always came in at. This is where I remember this is where you came in at. Mm-hmm. And like as a kid, like I would just, your parents are the ones driving you, so you don't know anything.
You don't think about that, yeah.
But like I didn't even think there was all these different ways. I remember even coming with my cousin. We'll talk about the story. One of the craziest things that happened here with me. But I was like, oh, there is a different way you come in. But like that shows how popular this place was, or any of these malls back in the day was, because there's like 20 entrances, because they were just booked. The parking lots where you would fill up, and then you'd have to come through this entrance, and you just drive around like, oh, where can we find a good spot at? Like today we were just trying to find a place to get in at, so that's why we had to drive around.
The doors
but usually we used to we used to drive around because the spot. So, but this was the good one. This one had, because this was kind of towards the front, and you'd come in through Sears. But I'd always walk through Sears, so I always thought like that's how you get in the mall. You go through Sears. But then like you get older, and you're like, I could have just parked right
this
there.
Other side.
So that was the thing when that ex that didn't work out, didn't get the ring. She told me like go here and then go right down to this little. There's a garage, and then you can just walk up, and you're right there at the mall. Like you just barely have to walk. So.
Yep. One other cool thing about this Sears for me was this is where we got our first HD TV.
Yeah.
So like we had the big CRT that was, I say big, it was probably like not even 30 inches.
Yeah.
But we got, it was like on clearance, or it was like the last model they had, because it wasn't a flat screen. It was still technically like a CRT.
It had a bigger back to it.
But it had HD. It was probably like this tall, but like it had a chin like this big on the bottom. And and it had that big, and I remember we even had to have a repairman come and change out the light bulb in it.
Those were plasmas.
Or I don't think it was a plasma.
No.
I think it was.
What's it called? It was called.
It was like an LCD. It was a.
No, because my the guy that I rode the Beretta in here with had the same TV, and it was gosh, I can't. I thought it was plasma. Maybe I'm wrong.
Plasmas were a thing, but
they had something.
I don't think that was the one my dad had.
Yeah, but you had to replace that bulb.
Yeah.
Sometimes you couldn't just run that forever.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. It's kind of like a projector where you just couldn't. You had to replace the bulb on there. But but he had to keep replacing that bulb, so that's funny. You had to do that too. But
and I remember it so distinctly because it was like my dad, when he's going to buy anything, he like really looks into it and researches it and all that. And so we. It was like on a Sunday afternoon, like after church. It was like, okay, we've got our appointment to pick up the thing. Yeah. And so like they had a carport that you could do for picking up stuff because they sold washers and dryers and like really big appliances. And so I just remember finding it and being like, yes, this is the one, we're gonna do it. And then like, coming with our SUV and having the people.
That was so exciting when your parents got like a new TV or something. Like that was a big event. Like you go there and they'd have to set up. You had to sign paper. Like it was a big deal. Whereas like now you just ship it to your house.
Or now they're so freaking small. You get one on Amazon or like Walmart or Best Buy, and they're a bazillion times better than.
But that is funny how like those were a huge deal. Like we got to get the load up and make sure we got the truck. Okay, we got this thing ready. But I think that's it for Sears.
Yeah, we'll keep walking.
We're gonna go upstairs and we're gonna check out the. Food court. And I have a couple stories food court related. My memories are kind of all right here, bundled up. So let's get to that. We are standing now. I did catch it on audio, but not video. Devin's reaction to. They said they were closing on Sunday. They weren't playing around. Everything is shut down in the food court. Now, what was your favorite food court dish? What did you like to go here?
So usually I would get, there was like a mom and pop, like Asian restaurant.
Yeah.
And so I'd always get like fried rice with like a couple different meats or whatever. But there was also a Chick-fil-A over here.
Yeah.
And I would get, chicken nuggets or whatever. But I have a family member who owns a couple Chick-fil-A's, or used to.
Okay.
And so this guy was friends with him, so we would always it was just like, hey, how's it going? But it was always.
Hey, I know us, and give us a free meal.
Yeah. And I've got. I remember they did a promotion where they had the Chick-fil-A cow here or whatever, and I got a bunch of pictures with the cow.
We have to drive Devin. He has to get his picture with the cow.
Oh no, I was like at least 16 or 17.
Oh, gotcha. So you drove yourself. I really they had Burger King here. I was a picky kid.
I remember Burger King being here.
I was a very picky kid, so it was Burger King mostly. That was the only one that was in here, was the Burger King. But I loved my dad's favorite place back then when we were growing up was great steak and fry and potato,
okay.
or like what's it called?
Are you talking about like Quaker steak?
No, it was called Great Steak and Fry. That was what it's called, Great Steak and Fry. I don't even know if they're in business anymore.
I've never heard of them.
We're really talking about memories here. Great Steak and Fry was back like right in there is where they were at, but loved Great Steak and Fry. They had good chicken nuggets. Again, I was a picky child.
Yep.
Awesome chicken nuggets. They had great fries and stuff, but yeah, this was the food court. Now, one memory I wanted to talk about, I did not want to forget. I always think about this. So they had, of course, all the tables are gone, but we were sitting here with my family and stuff, and I'll never forget, I had to be like, again, 8 or 9 or something, and I saw a group of teenagers, and one of them had a belt around their head, and the belt was hanging out. And my parents laughed so hard at that. My dad was like, that dude's got a belt on his head. That's like that was the fashion or something, was to have the belt over the head. But I always think of that, like if we're like goofing off for Halloween or whatever, I'll put a belt around my head like in remembrance of that guy. So if you're out there, belt man, please comment below.
Thank you for the memory.
Thank you. Had to keep your brain from falling out. What's some other food court memories? I mean, you getting the picture with the Chick-fil-A cow.
Yep. That picture's out there somewhere. We can find it. I don't think anyone was as picky as you were as a child.
Yes, I was extreme.
But like I would get the Chick-fil-A or Burger King or like that, like, you know, whatever that Chinese restaurant was.
Yeah.
But I remember like these like 2 or 3 places in this one corner, and I never went over here. I couldn't.
This was the kiddie corner.
I'm sure there was like a Sbarro's or something.
Sbarro loves malls.
Yeah.
Shout out Sbarro.
I honestly could not tell you what was in this over here. I do not remember.
Yeah, I can't even. I think there was a smoothie shop, or maybe I'm like remembering.
I think you're right. You're right. I think there was one over here.
Yeah, but that is it for the food court. I do remember there was like.
That was a toy store right here.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
And we'll talk about that.
That's a big thing here.
Another entrance to Sears was over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is the food court. Thank you, food court. Thank you for the food. Right here was KB Toys. Loved coming here, tons of games. And as a kid, this was a ginormous store. Now you're looking at it and you're like, Walmart is like 8,000 times the feet of it. But KB Toys was here. I have memories of not, as a kid, definitely coming here to get some games and stuff, but I came here when I was like 16 or whatever, and I had to get stuff for some of our old videos, and we got an old wig. We had a wig, and I never will forget. I've been laughed at in this place multiple times, because when I got the wig, it was like a little girl's wig. It wasn't even an adult wig. We couldn't go to like some party city or whatever, and they laughed at me. They got me the wig. I was like, "You want to buy this?" I was like, "Yeah," and they just started laughing at me and got me the wig. So, thank you, KB Toys, for having the wig. Then this closed down, or no, it was before KB opened up, or after. I'm trying to remember. I think they closed down and an arcade jumped into here. This was an arcade for just a little bit. Shouts out if you remember that. But that was KB Toys. This was where I got my favorite game of all time, Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. I got right here at KB. So shouts out KB. Thank you for giving my favorite game. I paid $60. It's worth a little bit more now. So, joke's on you, KB.
So this was, even back then, even when this mall was like super big deal, this place was like the low end like music store. This was Willis Music. I think there's still one in the area. I haven't been there, but I'm a musician, my dad's a musician. We would come in here and like, we would try to like, that's like a thing you do when you like go to electronic stores.
Yeah.
Or music shops.
I'm gonna try to look in here.
See what you can see.
See what we see.
And there's a Willis sign.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Like you window shop, you like try out a guitar.
Yeah, because that stuff is expensive. It isn't like you're like coming home with a guitar every time.
You're not going. It's not like getting a cheap toy.
Yeah.
But like, there was a Joe Satriani guitar that was like, it wasn't my style or anything, but Joe Satriani, if you know, he's like an incredible guitar player, known for like doing lots of crazy bends and like playing really fast. There was a Joe Satriani model Ibanez purple guitar, and it was really thin, like super, super thin. And so I wanted to try it out. And this guy that was working behind the counter was like, you know, he had to get it down for us, which was fine. Like that's a fairly normal thing. And so I was like playing it. And so he's like, so do you think this is it? You think this is the one? And I'm like, oh, I was just kind of looking. He's like, okay. Wait, so you're just playing the guitar? And I was like, yeah, like I just wanted to try it out. Like, and he's like, okay, so let me ask you guys a question. Why did you pick up that guitar? And I was like, I saw it and I wanted to try it out. And he's like, but you're not gonna buy it. And he was like hounding me and my dad, and we were like, no, like it says ask a person to help if you want to try it out. We asked you, you helped us. He's like, but you're not gonna buy it. And we just like, even as a kid, I was just like, okay, yeah, thanks for letting us play it, and like, you know, walk out and like, whatever.
There were some a-hole salespeople. I'll tell a story here in a little bit of a recent, again, in Tricounty Mall.
Yeah.
They really they would hound you. Yeah. That's crazy.
The other thing I think both of us have memories of is Willis used to have.
Yeah, it was right here.
Right here, this giant.
Was it in front
keyboard.
of the mall?
Yeah, it was right here in front. I'm pretty sure because.
No, it's right. You can still see it. They painted it.
Here it is. Yes,
they painted it. Oh my gosh!
You're right.
Before our eyes. Does it still work? No, you know, didn't have enough in the budget to keep.
But you can see like it moves a little bit, like just like it was.
Yeah.
It was a piano.
It was a piano here, and so all the kids, while Dad was in there not buying a guitar, Devin.
Yeah.
They would be out here playing with the piano. So I bet the
you
workers
could step on the keys. Yeah.
The workers probably loved that. But that was so cool. Yeah, you'd play that, and it would be playing. I wonder where like the speaker was at. Like I was doing. Oh, look, there's a line right there.
Oh, yep, that's exactly what that is.
Yeah.
It's speaker cable, and there's some on each side.
That's interesting.
Yeah. That's crazy that it's still here. I remember it being further out. I was obviously like I was just wrong, but.
And there's a free koosh ball if you can grab it. Right through there.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Keyboards were over there. Guitars were on this side. They had they might have done lessons or something. There was like a practice room in the back. Yeah. But yeah.
And you never bought that?
Willis Music.
No, guitar.
Did not buy that purple Joe Satriani Ibanez guitar.
Oh, you know what? No, it was one down. I was going to say this was the entrance where they stopped us, but I think it was one way down.
No, this was Dillard's. I think.
Yes, it was a different one. We
Dillard's
tried to be
JCPenney's.
sneaky, didn't work. So, next place. Another core memory for me was this store right here, Suncoast. Oh, actually, Flatliners Barbershop, which I have a theory about all this stuff. Maybe we'll talk about.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
I have a theory about some of these stores. Suncoast sold all these DVDs, movies, merchandise, posters, all this stuff. I think it was mostly CDs and like DVDs and stuff like that. Tons, like every movie you could ask for. Now again, this is back in the 90s when you couldn't, of course, like 8 million people are gonna say this, you couldn't order Amazon back then, but really you couldn't, so this was like the treasure chest of all that stuff.
Because it wasn't like a big chain or anything.
And what was also really cool is they had import stuff, they had anime, they had all this stuff, they had really cool, and this is the thing too, this is back to the gaming channel stuff, old video game merchandise is worth a lot because they didn't make a ton. It wasn't like games weren't mainstream where they are now. Like you're gonna find 8,000 versions of a pop figure of a Gears of War guy, right? But like Crash Bandicoot, they had the action figures here, and those go for like so freaking much because they were like limited. They didn't make a ton, and they broke easily. Yeah, which is a funny story also here. But Suncoast was here. We'll go back to the Crash Bandicoot story. So we got those action figures here. And we sat over here at the food court, or we got it, and I was like, okay, and I don't know if my mom had to go do something or whatever else. I was so excited, I wanted to open it in the mall. I opened it, it snapped in half. Crap. And took it back and went and like got a new one. They were like, okay, we'll give you a new one. I was like, yeah, I just opened it and it broke. Got that new one, opened that up carefully because I was like, oh, it snapped right here at the waist. Now the designs, if you look at Crash Bandicoot, like it's very skinny right around his waist, and then kind of comes out. Action figure people couldn't figure it out because I barely opened as a kid, like as carefully as I could. Pop, and breaks again. So my dad took it back and we got another one. And I think on that one it broke too. And I said, that's just how it is. And it broke again on there. So I still have those Crash Bandicoot and we just super glued, like right there at the waist. But that's the only way you couldn't break them was just not to open them.
Yeah.
But a lot of those are broken now if you still have those figures.
I didn't know that.
It was just you couldn't really, I did it as carefully as possible and it just broke. So you'll see a lot of those broken, but shout out Crash Bandicoot. The other stuff here, I got some of my first like anime here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what it was. It was Castle in the Sky, I think. I'm trying to think. Okay. Or that was a different store. I don't know, but basically they had a ton of anime here and stuff. But this store was great. They also had maybe some naughty anime.
Probably, I'm sure they did.
Those were behind
the
placard. They had like a placard in front of them. It just said said like 18 restricted, and you just pulled it back and got to see the DVD or whatever. But which it really kept people off of it. It kept kids off of it easily.
Yeah, definitely.
By just moving a piece of cardboard. But that was here too. But awesome store back in the day. Love the store.
I only remember, and it's probably because of that 18s. Like I just never. I didn't come. By the time I was like old enough to kind of go out on my own and stuff, like this store was more on, or like this area, this mall was more on the decline. But I remember coming right before I started hanging out with you and our whole group. I was hanging out with Kenny, and we came here after school one day. And I remember there was a Sonic hat. And I know I've got a picture of it. I'll find, but where Kenny, because that's his favorite character of all time, and I've got a bunch of pictures of Kenny doing like this in his giant UK sweatshirt and a Sonic hat.
Yeah, he has blue and then blue. It really was, like we're saying, like I think that's why the ones closest to us is Kenwood and there's a Liberty Center. That's a newer one in the Cincinnati, Cincinnati. So that's a new word, you can have it. The surrounding areas have consolidated on those, and those do different things. Some of them have apartments in them and stuff, but that still is good to get away from like your house. Mom drops you off, and it's a social. You explore stuff, and you're having fun in a Suncoast. Like that's why I think malls are actually really cool still. Where people are like, what, malls are dying? Yes and no. I think there's still like money to be made on them and stuff, but maybe it's a little bit harder now with the internet and all that stuff. People also window shop. That's a big thing, like going into Best Buy and they just order on Amazon later.
And I think too, because of the Amazon stuff, malls like this go into decline because you can't just go to one store. Like you can with a lot of newer malls that are mostly outside. It's like if you wanted to come in here to shop at a department store or like the KB or whatever, like you had to park, go into the mall. Like it was a full
you're right.
Whereas like on our online, digital, whatever, I'm getting philosophical here. In our modern age, ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah, nobody got time for that. Here's my theory. Let's talk about this.
Okay, I'm ready to hear this theory. Else is you watching. Keep talking about it.
And I've talked to people about this, and they've said, I'm probably right. This mall, I think around 2011, I was still, 2010, I might have came here, 2011 or whatever, and then I haven't been past 10-ish years, let's say. I can't really remember. Let's say around then. But I think I did come back in 2013, maybe it was 2012 this started happening. Maybe you can tell me in the comments when you start seeing it. Flatline Barbershop. Maybe that's different. I don't know, but here's my theory. These stores started coming in, and it probably wasn't cheap when this place was still like going for the lease. There was like GameStops in here, GameStop, Hot Topic. There were bigger names, and then all these mom and pops started coming here. I don't know if the mall got desperate and they lowered the lease extremely low. That could be, that's one theory, but my theory is money laundering. I think there was money laundering because some of the stores was like, I made fun of No More Hats earlier or whatever, or Only Hats, baseball caps with a Z. Or like threads with a Z. And it just was like these like stores that had like a crappy mannequin out front with like airbrush. There was like an airbrush shirt and stuff. Like it was stuff where it was like, who's coming here? And like I think I was even kind of still coming at times, and I never see anybody in the stores. That's my theory. I think there was money laundering stuff going on because some of these stores open up, and it's like, how are you selling? I don't know, only red shirts with a Z. Like, who only wants red shirts? It's stuff like that. And it was like, we were getting kind of suspicious because there was a lot. I think I took a video of it where you'll also see a logo and it was all pixelated. I don't know. I think they were opening up quit things.
That could be. That makes sense.
I don't know.
Big empty
and
space.
If you have ran one of those stores, put in the comments and fight me and say I'm an idiot, because I'll deserve to be called an idiot if you actually own one of those stores.
That's true.
And you don't money launder. But if you do, just wink in the comments.
I won't tell anybody.
Yeah, I'll just see a wink and I'll forget about this and go, why are they winking at me? But that's it. We'll keep moving on. We got a couple more stores to go to, but
Yep.
this was
We have
a
an
big
entire
one.
half of the mall we haven't touched
we did. All right, this used to be the GameStop, and we'll put this footage in, but we looked in here and we didn't even realize this, and it might have been actually under a GameStop sticker. I bet that's what it was. EB was bought out by GameStop. And we looked in here and we saw there's an EB Games logo. I think they had a wrapping that made it a GameStop desk or front desk or whatever on here. So this used to be the EB Games. Going back to Devin's story, talking about the Guitar Center thing, we came here to get Knights of the Old Republic, me and my dad. And when he came, he checking out or whatever, and the guy in a Hawaiian shirt, I'll never forget it, guy in a Hawaiian shirt, hey, you want to get strategy guide with that? Nah, we're good. Sure you don't want to get the strategy guide and you want to get protection for the game? No, we're good. The strategy guide is really good. Don't need the strategy guide. Would you like to pre-order this other game that's coming out? Nope, just the game. And kept going and going and going on this guy, but I'll never forget Hawaiian shirt guy, thank you. The other story I have at this GameStop was there was the game that came out on PS2 called Dog's Life. I could be wrong about that. Cried laughing at what happened. We were looking at used games and I found Dog's Life and I pulled it out, and on the case, this is not even that funny, but I don't know why it killed me as a kid. Someone had chewed, a dog had chewed. It was dog marks, had chewed all over this box, and I said, this dog really wanted to play Dog's Life. Like, of anything for your game collection to get chewed up on, Dog's Life got destroyed in the process. So, shouts out Dog's Life. That really tickled me. And shouts out Hawaiian shirt guy. Hope you're doing well. So this was the Hot Topic. You can tell this isn't a Macy's from the door design there, but used to come here all the time. Window shop. I mean, Hot Topics are still around, so I don't know what I'm talking about too much, but like. I would always come here, and I think I talked about this on the channel too. They used to make these, when I was in middle school, they had these old like sweatbands, and they had like Mario and stuff on them or whatever, and I'd have like all this. I found it recently, they just don't make those anymore, like those type of sweatbands, and I had these weird stuff. So I think people now think that's really cool. Like some of that vintage stuff from the 2000s is really really cool. So maybe I'll start wearing the sweatbands again to fit in with the kids, but I still have them, but I got all those here at Hot Topic. Thank you, Hot Topic. They also did, when we used to come and just screw around, just we weren't buying anything. Yep. They had a little kiosk in here and you could scan to get points, but it was like you had to scan 1,000 times to get $1. And it was a daily thing. If you came whatever day, it would give you like 5 cents or something. It was something that low with these points. So great system there. Thank you, Hot Topic, and your.
I actually, I can't think of it. I had a really good story here, but I can't think of the phrase. I bought a August Burns Red T-shirt here.
Yeah.
And some guy, one of the guy behind the counter, he said something really goofy. It was like, "This is, that's Mick Awesome." Or he said something really goofy like that.
They always had great employees.
And the other employee was like, "Did you just say Mick Awesome?" I don't remember what the phrase was.
Yeah.
Me and my friend, he's passed now, but me and him used to say that all the time. And I really wish I could remember what the thing was.
Yeah.
That he said,
always had great employees.
Yeah.
They always were tatted up, had a bunch of piercings and stuff. So they always had a chance at Hot Topic selling me the sweatbands and stuff. Yep. So thank you, shouts out. Cookie time. It was always cookie time. Whenever that was another thing, a little thing that me and my friend did. We'd come here, we'd pass it and go, what time is it? We'd always ask what time it was, and hopefully one of us remembered it was cookie time at all times. Over here was GameSwap. I don't know when they closed down, because that was something I was still searching. Like, I want to go check out GameSwap, whatever. Now games are like $8,000 for like Mario and stuff. So
I remember
it's a little bit different now, but
they would
love the GameSwap.
They would hold card tournaments too.
Oh,
so like, I don't know, like for Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic or something like that, but
they had a sister location.
They had tables.
Yeah.
That sister location, are you talking about like out in Mason?
No, it's in Coleraine area.
Okay.
I forgot the name. Easton Mall? Not Easton. That's
not Easton. There's Northgate.
Northgate. It was in Northgate. They had another location there.
Okay. But shouts
out GameSwap. I bought a copy an old game as a kid. I've talked about this on the channel before, but it was called Tel Concerto. And as a kid, I thought that was the funniest thing. He was in a mech robot. It was a Japanese import game, and I played it on a demo disc at the time they had. Well, that game I found here years later. It was like 05, 06, and I was like, that's the game. They were wanting $30 for it. I was like, $30, whatever. Didn't buy it. Next weekend, my friends said, you should buy it. Like, that game was funny to you. And I was like, okay, whatever. Came back, bought it. That game is now one of the rarest PlayStation 1 games you can buy. It sells for around $500. So, shouts out GameSwap.
You still have it in your collection?
Yes, I still have it. Yeah, I kept it. Because it was so close to me. Once I had it, I was like, yeah, this game made me laugh as a kid. Like, it's special to me.
That's awesome.
Shouts out GameSwap. Now, this went down probably around the time of the recession. I think maybe before. They were out. Disney said, we ain't doing that.
Well, and they're in that newer, nicer mall.
Yeah, they went to a nicer mall, Kenwood Mall, and now they have it there. But I will always remember this because of the design. Like, look at that.
Yeah.
Like, the windows was so whimsical.
Yeah,
it was so whimsical. This is not like your basic, like, mall. It was fun. It was inviting.
Yeah.
But what was so cool in here, and I found on TikTok, somebody was posting this the other day, inside here, they've totally gated this up, or I might show in there. But
you can't see in at all.
And it became some mom and pop thing or whatever. Somebody took it over. But inside here was, in old Disney stores, they would have mountains of stuffed animals. I don't know if you remember that. Mountains. And I don't think my parents ever bought stuff from here. We just did not have the money back then. But I think 1 or 2 times I did get to pick a stuffed animal off that mountain.
Yeah.
But shouts out, the old Disney store was right here in Tricounty.
We are at the best store that any mall can ever have. It's a Victoria's Secret.
Yeah, and as a kid, I loved walking past this.
It makes you blush when you walk by.
Yeah.
But you can't help but look.
Yep.
You have to.
You have to.
My quick story on this one, because it's not even my story, but one of the first times I ever went Black Friday shopping ever, like when, and I was shocked my parents let me do it. I mean, I was like 15, 16, when people still, like, stores would open at midnight or 1, like when that was still a thing. I remember my wife and her friend at the time came here, and she was trying to grab something, the friend was, and she told me after the fact, like, yeah, like, someone like punched me in the back trying to get this thing in my size, and like, I can't believe that happened to me. And me and my wife talked about it, like, she was my girlfriend at the time, we talked about it afterwards, and she was like, she did not get punched in the back. Like, she got what she wanted. Like, she grabbed it off the thing and it was fine. But I just always...
That's where all the stories came from. That you hear on the news is all fake. That video.
So that's just a funny story I remember about this place.
You know what? I'm gonna put my ex on blast. Well, I won't say her name, but I had an ex, and we came to this Victoria's Secret, and we were walking around in here, and the most vile fart I've ever smelled. And I had to, like, leave the area. And I, when we got out of there, I was like, did you smell that? And she was like, yeah, that was me. We quickly broke up right after. No, I'm just kidding. But that was, like, it was so funny because it was just like, I thought somebody, like, I was looking around like, what dude in here did that?
Who crapped their pants?
Who crapped their pants in the Victoria's. I found out what Victoria's Secret was. All right, this is the Paxson. Somebody ripped a hole.
Yeah, you can see if the
you can
camera will focus. You can.
Yeah, that's the old. Yeah, you can see it. I can see it good.
Okay, yeah.
That's the old, like, little columns they had in there. Yep, there was the old counter.
Yep.
I always came here for my skate clothes and skate shoes. I used to get my Vans from.
That's my other fun memory about that. My first time going Black Friday shopping, I came in here with my now wife, and I bought a beanie for the first time. It was a blue Volcom beanie.
Yeah, Volcom.
And that was, so I would have, like I said, I was like 15, 16. But that was like, I still wear beanies now. Like, that was the first, like, I feel really cool wearing this. Like, I feel like I don't know, like, it just felt like a next step almost. Yeah. And I still have that beanie, I think. But, like, you'll see in the wintertime I wear them all the time. Yeah. But, like, that's just a special, like, little piece. It literally means nothing to anybody other than me.
I came here probably it was more recent. It was probably 2014 or so. And they had some shirts in here, and my friend got one, and it was a, like, I don't even know if you can get this, but it's get these anymore, but it was a shirt of a woman with, like, Fruit Loops covered all over her. She was like, she was like in a bikini and had all these Fruit Loops on her. And that was the first time I was like, clothing prices are kind of crazy. It was the first time in my life. So it was, I would say 2011. Let's say 2011, 2012 we came in here. But he bought it and it was a $35 shirt. And at that time, now it's like kind of like 35 is not too bad.
That's not crazy.
But that was when I was buying shirts for like 20 bucks in those places. And I was like, what are we doing here? We're getting too high. So, but he got the shirt. So, wonder if he still has it. Don't know. There's Paxton. This spot right here. Devin, I found out, didn't know the story.
Yeah, this is new to me.
I might have mentioned something on an old video, but we're in the spot that it happened, right up in here, or maybe right downstairs, because I think we might have, that's what it was. It was right here, and they used to have like, I'm trying to think exactly, but this was the spot, like either right here or downstairs. What happened was, cousin brought me and my little cousin to the mall, to here. He had a Suburban, brand new, like it was newer, had big, you know, I rode in with the Beretta during the recession, but, you know, before the recession, he actually had spinners. He actually had like a legit great vehicle for that time. This was right when Pokemon Gold and Silver had come out, so 99-ish, 2000-ish, like in that area. Came in, shopped around, whatever. Well, as we're stepping out, I have the new, they had a Pokemon, a Game Boy Color Pikachu edition.
Oh, yeah.
It came with Pokemon Yellow,
I've
and it
seen
had
those,
the whatever. Well, I had Pokemon Gold in there. It just came out, and I was playing that. And I was like, hey, should I bring this in or should I put it here? And my cousin said, just put it under the seat, and then we'll come back and get, okay, I'll put it under the seat. Came back. We're looking for the car. Looking for the car. Can't find it. Finally, my cousin goes, I think someone stole the car. And I was like, there's no way. I'm like 10 at the time. I'm like, there's just no freaking way someone stole your car. We just can't find it. There was a ton of cars in the area. Look. Came back to this one thing, and he's like, I think it was right here. And we went and looked at it, and there was tire marks swilled out.
Gosh.
And I went, yeah, okay. And we went back to security, and we weren't allowed in there, but my cousin went in there, and me and my cousin kind of just sat. And he was kind of scared. It was his son, like, oh, what's going on, or whatever. And he went back there and was like, yeah, we have security. They stole the car,
my gosh.
And they rode off with it. My cousin found that vehicle. They found the vehicle like a couple miles from here on blocks. They took the, you know, that's why the spinners, we came in with plastic spinners with the Beretta. But stole his freaking vehicle.
That
was the crazy thing that happened to me.
I can't believe I've never heard that story.
Mall. But in that, I remember even like looking at my cousin, I was like, my new Pokemon, my Game Boy Special Edition, and that was gone. There's some redemption on that. I was very anal about all my protected, like my boxes. I kept all my boxes in pristine condition or whatever. Well, I went home and like I had, you know, moving stuff around at some point when I was a kid, that I still had that old box for that Game Boy. It was the Pikachu Special Edition Game Boy Color. And I was like, I'll just keep this, like whatever. But I kept it with all my other stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't have the Game Boy anymore. About 2 years ago, I purchased for $80 off eBay that game, I got the one back. It was pretty good condition. Got the Game Boy Color back. That Game Boy with the box, if you have the Game Boy, I paid like $85 for that thing to get it back. Got her back in my collection. That box I kept, now I have a complete 750-ish. It's one of my rarest things I own.
That's crazy.
Telconcerto and Pikachu Special Edition Game Boy Color came from here. Well, it was taken.
It was taken from here, yeah.
It giveth and receiveth, Tricounty Mall. They tooketh my Game Boy and they giveth Telconcerto. Well, that does it. That is the end of our memories tour of Tricounty Mall. Again, came here in 96.
Yep.
First time, something like that, 97. What's somebody in the comments? It didn't even open until 98. You're a liar. Maybe so. Tell us in the comments, what was some of your memories? I want to hear like what people did. We saw some people while we were doing this video, snapping photos. There were lots of people. Some people were waiting for us to get out in front of the KB at one point and stuff. Like, there's a lot of people doing the same thing as we're doing today because it closes down officially tomorrow. I was kind of browsing some signs just now and got yelled at. No, some guy was like, "Those are ours," because I wanted some free stuff. I wanted
some mannequins.
I wanted memorabilia from Tricounty. So, any last words?
This will go down in history as a once really cool place.
Yeah, very cool.
A lot of nostalgia for a lot of people.
And it was a cool spot for just as kids and teens. Like, we just didn't have stuff to do, especially around here in the Cincinnati area. Now there's more stuff or whatever, but when we were growing up, the options were limited.
Yeah, and the things you can do as an adult are not the same as when you're 14.
Yes, we didn't have a car back then and stuff, and so pretty cool. Didn't you have a last story, or was that it?
I think really the only thing I was saying was even while the mall was still popular, the other mall that we might visit maybe sometime later this summer, Cincinnati Mills, is also going to close.
It's also closing down in August, so follow-up video to come.
There used to be a guitar center there. I was talking about being a musician. That's where I got my first like real electric guitar. Was at that guitar center in Cincinnati Mills. They moved over to a shopping center, not in the mall, but just right next to it over here.
We're here in Springdale, we're Tricounty.
But there's this road that goes behind the mall. Like it's for getting to all the parking garages and stuff. But there's a mall. If you come in on one road, you can turn into the mall, but take this road all the way around it, and you bypass a bunch of stoplights and traffic. And so for literally years, my entire time of like living in Ohio, my dad, like we'd go to the music shop, even if we were like just kind of window shopping or killing time, we'd go over, cut through this road here at Tricounty, and every single time we'd be like, man, there's not as many people here as there used to be.
It
just kept going and going.
And
we'd bypass a bunch of stoplights coming around here. And I wonder, once they actually close, I don't know if we'll be able to do that anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's still some businesses, right? Like, it's in the same parking lot, but like they're outside. Yeah. I'm assuming those are going to stay open.
Yeah.
It's my favorite Chipotle in this area, so.
Shout out Chipotle. They sponsored this video. Thank you guys for watching. Hey, if you like the video, like it. If you like video games, subscribe. We talk video games, movies, and stuff like that. But we will be doing a follow-up video around August before Cincinnati Mills closes for good. We did like our podcast there one time for the Arcade Legacy. Shouts out is in there. That's a popular area here in Cincinnati. They recently have moved, or they got their location.
They're getting ready to move.
To move. But thank you guys for watching. Again, you know, it's sad, but it's like I haven't been here in 10 years as well. But it's cool to go back and reminisce. We had a lot of fun filming the video, so.
This is cool.
See you guys later. Thanks for watching.
Do you take card?
We do. We take American Express.
Oh, okay. But we only take American Express. Okay. Well, good luck. Cinnabon.